There's something about this time of year that makes you want to slow down and savor the season. The crisp air, the colors, the cozy meals at home. But for many of us, fall also brings busier schedules and longer to-do lists. Today on For Your Heart and Home, I'm sharing a few simple ways to bring more efficiency into your kitchen without losing that homemade touch. We'll be making 4 different types of dough: a Dutch oven loaf in the bread machine, pizza dough in the stand mixer, and 2 batches of cookies, chocolate chip and peanut butter chip. It's all about working smarter, not harder, using tools you already have to save time while still creating nourishing, homemade food for your family. So, let's get started. To my bread machine, I will be adding all the ingredients I need to make my Dutch oven loaf. Since I'm using 100% freshly milled flour, I will also be adding 1 tablespoon of vital wheat gluten for every cup of flour that the recipe calls for. Once all the ingredients are in my bread machine, I will let that go for about an hour and a half, and then I will work on something else. I will now get the pizza dough ready that I need for lunch. I was prepping all of this prior to starting homeschooling that day. So once I was halfway through the homeschooling morning, I would be able to shape my dough and get it into my Dutch oven. I would also be able to prep the pizzas that I would need for lunch. So this is one way that I was increasing the efficiency in my home. I had just served my children breakfast, and while they were eating, I was prepping the bread and prepping the pizza for lunch. That way I could sit down and have very few interruptions while I was homeschooling the children. So I'm going to put all my ingredients that I will need for this pizza dough into my stand mixer, and I will allow that to knead the dough and get it ready for me. Both my pizza dough and my dough for the Dutch oven loaf will take about the same amount of time to proof. So I'm going to get all the ingredients I need for my pizza dough into my stand mixer, get that mixed and proofing while I work with the children on their schoolwork. I have seen a lot of complaints about using a stand mixer such as this to mix dough made with freshly milled flour. This is a dough that is made with 100% hard white wheat. There is no all-purpose flour, no bread flour, no pizza flour in this mix. I have seen where others have also let their dough mix for 25-30 minutes until their machines are burning up. I don't do that. I put all the ingredients in, and once my machine has formed a dough ball, I turn it off. So my machine is not running for any more than 5 to 8 minutes. In that time, my dough it will come together and form a ball, and then I will turn my machine off, and then I will allow my dough to double in size, and I use it as is. I have had no trouble with using this machine, my KitchenAid stand mixer, with freshly milled flour. I was having some camera issues on this day, and so I was not able to film everything. However, I used my stand mixer to pull together my pizza dough and the 2 doughs I needed for the cookies, the chocolate chip cookie dough as well as the peanut butter chip cookie dough. After about an hour and a half, this is what I had. I had my Dutch oven loaf out of the bread machine ready to be shaped. I had my pizza dough doubled in size, ready to be used, and I had my 2 balls of cookie dough. This for me is dough efficiency at its peak. I was ready to take on the rest of the day because I had spent a few minutes in the morning before homeschooling the children to get this all ready. So once we were finished with school, it was time to shape my loaf. My daughter wanted to come in and help with this. She's 10, and so she wanted to help me shape the loaf for this Dutch oven loaf. I did all of the work in terms of taking the Dutch oven out of the actual oven because it's very hot, but she shaped the loaf as you can see here. She also wanted to design the loaf as a pumpkin, which was perfect as we had just gone to the pumpkin patch the weekend before. And so she was inspired by the pumpkin, and here she is shaping the loaf, and then she used a very sharp knife to do the design on it, and I thought it came out so well. She did such a great job here.
Like you see how the pumpkin lines, if you want to do that.
Wait, so I just draw it?
Like a straight line, yeah.
With the pumpkin touch. So does either have any pumpkin lines?
So wait a second, yeah. You're gonna have to make your lines a little deeper though, or they're not gonna show up in the final picture. So just go through and make them a little deeper.
What about that? I just don't want to cut it too much.
That's okay. The whole point is to cut it so that it stays like that.
There.
So after she shaped her pumpkin Dutch oven loaf, which we both thought was so cute, we popped that into the oven, and then she started getting ready to prepare the pizzas that we were going to have for lunch. My children take turns being meal helper, and so whenever they're in the kitchen with me, I let them do as much as they can do safely. Here she is. Again, this is my 10-year-old. She was grating the cheese and getting it ready. So for quite some time now, we haven't bought pre-shredded cheese from the grocery store because for us, it's just easier to just shred it by hand. Yes, it's more convenient to buy it already shredded, but we prefer to shred it at home. And so she shred the cheese, and then she got all the other ingredients that she needed to make the pizza. We were just making a basic pepperoni pizza. In our family, we're not very adventurous when it comes to pizza toppings. A simple sauce with cheese and some pepperoni is pretty much all we need. And so she was responsible for rolling out the dough and putting on the sauce that we canned a few weeks prior, and then she topped it with cheese and some pepperoni. So we're a family of 5, and so 3 pizzas is plenty for us. These were not very large pizzas. They were probably medium-sized, and so we just make them in the cast iron because it gives you that nice crispy bottom that everyone enjoys. The last thing she worked on was this pizza that was a sauceless pizza, and that was for her. She does not like the taste of tomato sauce. We've made many variations, but she prefers not to have tomato sauce. So she made a small personal sized pizza for herself without the sauce. So here are the pizzas. They're just waiting to go into the oven because if you remember, the Dutch oven loaf is in there right now. And this is a quick look at her pumpkin-shaped Dutch oven loaf. You guys, this was amazing. And I'm so happy with how it came out. She did such a great job and she was so proud of it. So this is a look at the pizza that we pulled from the oven after it was baked, and it turned out to be a very delicious lunch. I did not get a clip of the cookies. They were gone in no time, but they were very, very good. And you've seen me make cookies on this channel before, and so I wasn't able to put that in because, again, I was having camera issues on this day. But essentially, I just wanted to talk to you today about being efficient in the kitchen. So if you've watched the video to this moment, thank you so much for being here. I just wanted to encourage you to let you know that you can be efficient in the kitchen with just a little bit of planning. I also wanted to share my blog page with you where I share meal ideas and free recipes. Every week I put out a new blog post, and you can go there and you can get a lot of these recipes that I'm making here on YouTube. So if you're ever in need of some inspiration, feel free to check out my blog where I share a lot of great information for anyone who needs it. And finally, to share my really big news, I'm so excited. So last year, I had a huge milestone birthday, and for the course of that year, I told myself that I wanted to spend time reading. This is one of my favorite pastimes, and I read quite a bit. I read with my children all the time. I read lots of different things, but I found that I wasn't necessarily reading for me. I wasn't reading the things that really excited me. And so I made a promise to myself last year in 2024 that I was going to read as many books as the age I was turning that year. And I was so excited to meet that milestone and more. And so for the 2025 year, my promise to myself was that I would become a published author. And I've spent much of the last year refining recipes, creating recipes, tapping into my mother's wisdom, and pulling together recipes that really sing to my home country of Jamaica. And I wanted to share with you, my viewers, that my cookbook is now live on Amazon and you can purchase it there. It was a work of love, and my family and I are just really excited to share this with you. Food is my passion, food is my love, and I just want to share this with you. So feel free to check out my new cookbook on Amazon and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about anything. And thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and be blessed always.